Alright, this is the Leverkusen and Bayern defensive review. Let's get right into it. So starting off with the pre-match notes, Leverkusen and Bayern both in exceptional form. Leverkusen winning 4 out of their last 5 games, and Bayern winning all of their last 5 games. Also, both teams very good defensively this season, as you can see. And let's get right into it. Starting off with Leverkusen, the first 10 minutes they really didn't have to do much defensively. Leverkusen had possession, so that kind of took the pressure from Bayern, and Bayern really struggled to get forward, and they couldn't really find a way through at the back. Of course, though, as the first half went on, things changed. Bayern started to assert themselves in the match. They started getting more possession. They started to get more shots off, and Leverkusen actually conceded in the 27th minute when Leverkusen gave the ball up. A through ball was played in, and the goal was scored. Um, yeah, it's another one of those goals where it's come from like a mistake, and it's kind of like the ball's just been played through. The defense is caught cold, and they didn't have a chance to really set themselves to defend this, and the goal was scored. But they also they also conceded again in the 42nd minute when defenders were caught square again. The shot comes from outside the box, and the keeper couldn't quite keep it out. Again, another goal from a mistake. The ball was played through. Although the defenders didn't really do well in this situation. I mean, the attacker, he did have options to his left and to his right, but of course, no one blocked the shot, and the keeper had too much work to do to keep this one out. And I guess the only really way to keep this goal out was to not give away possession, because once you're in that sort of position where you're giving up possession and you're trying to move the team forward, you kind of keep yourself open to being like counted at the back, and yeah, Leverkusen paid the price. But then again, Leverkusen conceded again in the 45th minute, just before halftime. Um, I think this is one of the worst goals I've seen, because when I was watching the game, the keeper made a brilliant save to keep the ball out of the net, and literally like 30 seconds later he concedes. I mean, it's literally just a ball over the top. The attacker gets the ball and loops the keeper. Like, it's one of the easiest goals you'll see all season, and it's just disappointing, very disappointing. Obviously, don't let the ball bounce. Just try and get out to it. Just like don't let that situation happen. It's such a poor goal to concede, because um, it comes from such a simple situation, and it just feels like it's something simple that would be easy to defend, but obviously Leverkusen didn't do it, and they paid the price. Now we move on to the second half. In the second half, I think it was a bit better for Leverkusen. I think Bayern, they didn't really put it. Almost felt as if they weren't putting as much pressure on them, because I think the match was pretty much over. They're 3-1 down, and Bayern kind of took the gas off the pedal. They did have shots in this half, but just not as many. Um, and I think that made defending easier, because they didn't have to deal as much. Um, but they did concede a goal in the 66th minute, when there was a second cross was played back into the box and headed home. Um, I think this one was a bit unlucky, because I think Leverkusen did well initially to stop the ball from coming into the box, but of course the ball comes out straight back to an attacker, and they cross it straight back into the box. And once again, the defenders aren't set, and obviously there's two attackers right there in the box to head the ball home. So Leverkusen did well initially, but they didn't deal with the second ball well. And that was pretty much it for the second half. Bayern didn't really threaten that much after that, and even in the second half, they didn't really. I mean, they could have scored, at least another goal, but I felt they were much more imposing in the first half. So defensively, Leverkusen, um, they didn't have to deal with as much as they did in the first half. All right, now on to Bayern. The first 10 minutes, again, it was kind of a 50-50 game. Both teams were trying to assert themselves in the game. But Bayern conceded an early goal in the ninth minute. It was basically just a simple lob over the top, and the defender finishes. Uh, and yeah, very, very poor defending. I mean, I think Bayern, uh, it's just a simple ball over the top. And, I think one of the players made a mistake because they didn't set themselves in line with the other players when they're trying to play the offside trap. And I don't know what he was doing. I'm not sure if he was trying to play offside, but I think he was at the wrong place at the wrong time. Ball gets played over the top. He doesn't have enough time to get back, and the keeper gets beaten at the near post. So yeah, very, very poor moment. Leverkusen didn't really threaten much in this game. I mean, they had a couple of chances, but Bayern had the majority of the possession and absolutely dominated this game. So they didn't really trouble Bayern's defense. Um, but yeah, in the second half, Bayern did end up conceding again in the 89th minute, but that was more so because I think Bayern were a bit relaxed in the match. They were 4-1 up at this stage, and I guess that's no real excuse to take your foot off the gas and not play as well as he did. But that happens in games, and it was actually from a yeah. Well, Bayern was basically exposed at the back, and the ball was basically um, uh, I guess finessed into the net. Yeah, that's probably the best way to say it. So yeah, Bayern, another defensive lapse, which isn't great for them. I mean, that's yeah, you don't want to be conceding goals like that, um, but they did, and yeah, I think that's about it actually. I'm trying to think if there's anything more to talk about. Um, yeah, I guess the only thing I can really say is yeah, not much happened in the second half. There were chances, but it felt like the game was over. Both teams were kind of resigned to the fact that Bayern had won the match, and they kept playing LC because you have to finish the match. But it felt very, very dull in the second half. Um, and yeah, just going into some notes. Bayern. I think as I said in my last video, Bayern. Yeah, I mean, I think they pretty much got the title wrapped up. They're basically in unstoppable form. Even when they went behind early today, they managed to go on to win the game quite easily, I might add. So they're definitely one of the best teams in the league. Well, they are the best team in the league. Leverkusen, they've still got a chance to finish in the Champions League. They're going to finish in a European spot. They'll finish in one of the Europa League or the Champions League spots, but they've still got a couple of games to finish in the Champions League. If they win, at least if they win, at least two out of the last four games, I think they'll do it. Um, so yeah, that's about it.